They say the bots are coming for the pen, but we're the ones who taught them what to say. We're riding the new wave, not going under, finding our voice in the digital thunder. We've seen the dawn of 1,000 tomorrows, still got fire, still got stories to follow.
For a while, it worked. I thought I'd figured it out, but then things fell apart. This is episode 2 of Riding the New Wave. I'm Jessica Waldron, and this is the story of when I lost everything, including my belief that I deserved to call myself an author. Around 2021-2022, things fell apart. A business partnership I thought I had, it soured. It was devastating for me and for Clark Publishing House. I gave all the authors their books back, made sure all the editing work was paid for, tied up every loose end. And then I said, you know what, this isn't going to work. The world had opened up again. People were going back to work, so I went back to banking. In May of 2023, I decided to go back to banking, and that lasted about a year and a half. While I was there, I had someone else sending out my newsletters to keep engagement going for my pen name. But sales were pretty freaking bad. They did happen. They were chugging along they took a pretty severe nosedive. And, every now and then I'd see a sale or two, but nothing that showed that, anything was being cultivated. And then in November 2024, my assistant told me she had to stop. She had a baby almost a year prior to that, and it was starting to demand more of her time and attention. And so between that and situations at the bank, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this back. I'm going to see what I can do this time. When I started writing my newsletter again, reconnecting with readers, I remembered how much I loved this work. And then I looked at that book, the one that I couldn't finish. I had the book mapped out, the outline was done, everything was ready, but I couldn't write it. I had written 30,000 words, half the book, and I released it as book 1, but it pissed off my readers because I never finished book 2. I felt like a complete failure, like I didn't deserve to call myself an author if I couldn't finish one freaking book. I didn't like where the book was going. I had this idea in my head, and I couldn't figure out some plot hole twists that were getting kind of big. So I was having a really rough time with it. The book is called Wild Reckoning, and it's Bobby's story. I had a friend who died in 2018. His name was Bobby, and he was a Navy corpsman. He served in Iraq, came back with PTSD after watching his squad hit a roadside bomb, and only 3 out of 15 survived. He wasn't with them. He was their corpsman, but it still hit him pretty hard. And Bobby was the ultimate hillbilly redneck sweetheart. He loved fishing, hunting, his pit bulls. He was always posting about remodeling his little country house. He was always sending me pictures and asking my opinion about colors of the paint that he was choosing and stuff like that. It was really sweet. He was divorced, I think, right after he came back from Iraq. He was retired Navy. But one thing that the military does sometimes is once you retire out of the military, you've served your 20 years. You don't know what to do with yourself because you're so used to taking orders. You're so used to being told what to do that when it's up to you to figure out what to do, you kind of feel lost. And that was Bobby. He kind of felt lost. And, he never did find his person again. He never got to have his own happily ever after. So I wanted to give it to him. So I created Bobby Cabot and Cassidy Cartwright, and I put them together in this book. It was my way of honoring him. It was the only way I really had. He was a dear friend. He lived in Tennessee. I live in Maine. So I actually graduated high school in Tennessee. So we went to high school together. And I wanted to give him the story he never got to live. but I couldn't figure out how to finish it. I knew how to start, I just didn't know how to end it, and end it properly in a way that really honored what I was trying to do. So for 3 years, that book sat there, half finished, making me feel like shit every time I thought about it. I owed Bobby his ending, and I owed my readers their books. But I was completely stuck. I felt like a fraud, like I failed as an author, I failed my friend, I failed everyone who believed in me, I failed my readers. The book was dedicated to him, and I couldn't even finish it. And that's when everything changed.
Thanks for listening to Riding the New Wave, Writing with AI Over 50. Here's the thing. You're not too old to learn this. You're not behind. You're not missing the wave. You're right on time. Join us in the AI for Authors Over 40 Facebook group if you want to ride this wave with people who get it. And if this episode helped you, share it with another author who's ready to stop waiting and start writing. I'll see you next week with more tools for authors who are done making excuses. Keep writing.